Yeah, mate, it's open. Come in.
Clinky cling.
Just in time. We're about to close up shop.
Oh, hello. Lovely supplement shop, I will
cheers,
say.
man. Yeah, do some, look around if you need to. We're about to do some stock checks quickly before we shut up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This looks like what I'm after vaguely.
Yeah,
I think I'm actually after, I'm quite new to supplements, but I'm after My Protein.
Oh, yeah, this is the one for
Pre.
you. Okay.
My Protein. Pre.
Oh, you want them both? Yeah, this will help out for the...
No, the My Protein Pre.
Oh, sorry, mate. It's only just come in.
Oh,
yeah,
I
this
see.
is the one you're looking for, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, watch the impact. Hello guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be taking a look at a pre-workout by the name of Impact by the guys over at My Protein. I'm sure you've all heard of them, they're a big flagship company, but how do they fare when it concerns pre-workouts? As we cover the usuals, taste, price, label and effects. Is it going to be one to avoid or one to pick up? It's going to be interesting, and if you're new here, please do hit the like button, hit the sub button, hit the bell icon, so we drop about 3 reviews a week. But let's get into this one. Okay, first segment, taste and mixability, and we've got the orange mango passion fruit flavour. I think it does come in at least one other flavour, I'll flash them up on the screen, but let's try out this one. So I've whacked in the 11.5 gram serving amount. Mixability wise, not too shabby, which you would expect with a lesser size serving. So how will it taste? Let's find out. Not bad. Not bad, but then again, there isn't much to mask. It's quite a basic pre-workout, which we'll get into. Flavouring's good. There's nothing nasty coming through on the back end. I can taste all the flavours there. It's got kind of like a Sunny D kind of vibe to it, not just in appearance, but in taste as well. I'll give it one more sip, then I'll give you a score. Pretty damn good, I'll be honest. I'd be happy to give that an 8.5 out of 10. The taste is good. And with it being a more generic kind of brand, for want of a better word, it's just as well that their flavours are good, because this is going to appeal more to the masses, your average Joe, people that have just started out lifting. So it's good that they can at least enjoy the taste of the product, so they don't get put off from pre-workouts for the rest of their life, which we've had some friends that have had that happen to them. But anyway, let's get into price. Okay, price. So how much is this pre-workout going to cost you? Well, it is their cheap budget offering, so I don't even think you can get it off their official website. I think you can get it off other websites online like Boots, or obviously in-store in superstore, supermarket type places like Sainsbury's, which is where I got this one. It's only £12. Now weirdly, it doesn't say how many servings you get in it, so I had to work it out by dividing the total tub weight amount by the servings, which comes to 13, by the serving size I mean. So I worked it out to be 13 servings per tub, and when you work that out per the serving cost-wise, it's 92p. And we have a consistent price scale that measures how expensive pre's are. 5 out of 10 is bang average. This comes in at an 8.5 out of 10. So it's priced quite a substantial amount better than your average pre-workout on the market. But then again, like I touched on, it is a very basic offering. So the jury's still out on whether it's going to be good bang for buck or not, but that's what we're here to determine, so stay tuned. Okay, so one thing I just do want to clear up before we get into the label, which by the way is very vague. Like, it's just a shopping list, it's not actually laid out properly like most supplements. Well, fully transparent label, shall we say. So anyway, we've cleared up the fact it is actually 13 servings. It does say it somewhere in that gumph of information, so it's not obvious. You have to kind of read through all of that to naturally see that it's got 13 servings in it, which isn't good for the consumer because it's a bit, well, it is confusing. Even I struggled to find it. So there we go. But yeah, so 11.5 gram serving amount, which is definitely smaller than your average. But first up we've got L-citrulline malate at 3 grams, which is an ultra small dose. I'd be surprised if it does all too much, to be honest with you. We don't even know the ratio of the dimalate compared to the citrulline, but whatever the ratio is, it's not going to cut it. It's extremely minimal. It's underdosed by probably at least half. but what it should do is bump up your nitric oxide levels, increasing blood flow and pump. But will it do that at that dose? Minimally, very minimally, maybe to an ant or a very small human. But then we've got beta-alanine at 1.6 grams, which again, underdosed by about half. That's an itchy, tingly ingredient, and when you take it for long enough, it does help with your endurance by buffering lactic acid. But again, it's going to take longer to reach that saturation point at a half dose. Then we've got L-arginine alpha-ketoglutarate at 1.5 grams, which is the salt of arginine. That's going to help alongside the citrulline to further pumps, contractions and endurance. Then we move down to, or across to, L-tyrosine at a gram. Now, this is the first ingredient I've seen dosed at least correctly, but at the minimal end of dosing still. That's amino acid responsible for mood boosting and concentration, so we'll take that. Taurine at a gram again, which is another acceptable dose, the lowest end of what we like to see. Another jack of all trades amino that's going to help with energy production, focus and hydration. Then we've got betaine anhydrous at a gram. Normally like to see 2 to 2.5 grams again, so roughly half the dose we'd like to see. Another jack of all trades type ingredient in that it helps with your pumps and power and endurance. Then we've got total caffeine, it says here, 150 milligrams, consisting of caffeine anhydrous and guarana extract. So it's interesting that they've got guarana in here because that's more of an exotic style stimulant to a degree. You don't see it all too often. So yeah, we've got 100 of that 150 is guarana extract. So it's interesting to see that more than half of the total caffeine in this product, you're getting it from guarana, not actual caffeine anhydrous like in most pre's. So it'll be interesting to see how that feels in reality. But again, that is 150 milligrams total caffeine. That's probably half, if not just under half, of what you see in a lot of pre-workouts these days. So it's one of these labels where you could easily two-scoop it. In fact, you'd probably want to two-scoop it to get the dosages you need, and you'd have a far better workout for it. But again, we have to remember the target audience. It's obviously going to be newbies. Then we wrap off this attempt of a label with vitamin C 75 milligrams and niacin at 3 milligrams. Nothing too important, background sort of ingredients that are just going to help your body fire like it needs to, a bit of natural energy production from them. Nothing too exciting, nothing you're necessarily going to feel immediately when you take it. But yeah, that is the label, guys. Very, very basic. We're getting a little bit of everything we would want. But yeah, it is what it is. You're paying for what you get, and in this case, it is a cheap pre. But how will it come together in reality? That's what we're going to find out. Okay, effects time of the Impact pre-workout by MyProtein. And like I touched on earlier, it's their more budget, average Joe friendly offering of their pre-workouts. I think they do have a more stacked out one. I think it's called Origin, if memory serves. But like I say, this is their more generic option just for your average Joe lifter who might be new to supplements or gym and all that sort of thing. So, what did I think of it? Well, obviously it's got beta-alanine in it at half the dose we look for, so you probably get half the tingles you normally get, and in this case it is true, you get half of that. So I would say out of 10, 2, maybe a 3 out of 10 on the tingles. So you know that there's some beta-alanines in there, but it's not going crazy. So obviously if you don't like that feeling, you'll love this. If you love that feeling, you'll be wishing it was more potent. But I think that they've logically done that because they don't want to scare off newbies to pre-workouts, because they're not necessarily going to know what's doing that, what ingredient it is or what's happening, so they could have a freak out. So I understand why they've put it in there at a lower dose, but I just think when it concerns that type of thing, I just think rather than underdose an ingredient, just don't put it in there at all. So that's my stance on that. But yeah, anyway, you do get a very mild heating tingle sensation, and it only lasts 5-10 minutes, so it's not offensive. From an energy standpoint, it feels similar to an energy drink, and obviously that would make sense because it's similar caffeine levels to an energy drink. So yeah, it's enough to get you moving, but it's also not going to blow your block off. And again, I'm going to keep making this reference. There's a reason for that. It's because it's for newbies. I think most people would be okay with 150 milligrams of caffeine because it's not too different to a very strong coffee or, like I say, an energy drink. If we're talking normal pre-workout standards of caffeine, we're talking obviously 300-400 milligrams, and that probably could knock someone's head off who's new to pre's. That could be a bit of a shock to them. So again, I understand why they've done that. So energy lasts a couple of hours, definitely no more than that. Very smooth. You don't necessarily feel your heart rate go up or a rush of energy or anything crazy like that. It just feels more like a a slow onset of feeling more alert is the best way to describe it. So energy is friendly enough that you can feel it, but it's not potent enough to actually feel like something serious is kicking in. So I feel like if you're a seasoned pre-workout user, it's just not even going to touch the sides. But you do feel energized on it, don't get me wrong, it's just extremely minor. From a focus standpoint, I mean, we're only looking at a couple of ingredients that are really going to do anything where that's concerned, such as the L-tyrosine, the taurine, and obviously the caffeine itself. So the focus and mood elevation side of things isn't too much to speak about. Obviously you get some, but it's nothing to write home about. Very minor again. Now that leaves us with a third point, which is pumps, and again, very, very minimal because they only a couple of pump ingredients in here, and even then they're underdosed. So yeah, pumps, you do get pumped on it again, but nothing above and beyond that I would argue I would get without taking the product, really. So it's doing everything, but to a very, very, very mild degree. And this is where it gets a bit iffy, because what you'd really want to do, if you want to get a full experience and get the most out of the ingredients, you're going to have to double serve it, which means you're going to cut the servings in half. You only get about 6.5 servings per the tub, nearly £2 to go, and then the whole appeal of the pre-workout in the first place goes out the window, because its whole appeal is to be budget friendly and user friendly. So yeah, it's one of those, but at the same time there's no negatives to it, so I didn't feel unhealthy, like my heart wasn't pounding out my chest. I didn't feel like any illicit feelings, obviously. No appetite suppression. I very much doubt it'll keep me up all night. So yeah, it's really going down that route of appealing to the noobs, and I think it is. Price wise, per the serving, whilst it is cheap, for the ingredients and the dosages you're getting, I feel like it should definitely be cheaper, because I've seen pre-workouts even recently that are more stacked out than this, that are like 60, 70p a go. So there's that. So on that basis alone, I cannot recommend it. It sounds bad to say it, but I would honestly say avoid it. Even if you're an absolute newbie starter to pre-workouts, there just are simply better ones out there. Better bang for buck, better pre-workouts in general in terms of clinically dosed, everything. And I kind of feel like I want to touch on this with the whole label. That's just, look at that for a label of ingredients. That to me does not scream transparency, even though it does have the ingredients on there and the dosages. It's just very convoluted looking. It's almost like they're doing it as a tactic to sort of hide it and mask it amongst everything, so that people can't quickly glance at it and see what's in it. I mean, at the front they do state it's got 150 caffeine, 3 grams of citrulline dimalate and 1.6 beta-alanine. So at a glance you can tell that much, but yeah, I just wish it was a bit more obviously transparent, especially as they are going after the newbie audience, like I've touched on. So you really want your supplement facts to be blatant and obvious to read. But yeah, that's just a little side tangent nitpick that I've got. But yeah, my point still stands. I think that it's an okay pre, like it's not bad in terms of it doesn't mess you up or make your training less good than it would be if you didn't take it, but it also doesn't add too much to your training, especially for that price point, which, like I say, whilst cheap, is not as cheap as I've seen other better pre-workouts. So yeah guys, I think that does cover it all. It's a very much meh pre-workout, which I would say unfortunately avoid. Yeah, we'll see if we can get our hands on some of their other products, that they're more beefed out ones that have got more ingredients and hopefully more clinically dosed ingredients in there, and see if they fare any better. But as far as this one goes, it's a no from us. But yeah guys, I guess it's just that type of product, isn't it? But yeah, let us know if you've tried it. Let us know down below, of course. Anything else you want to see us review, all of the usuals. And as always, stay stimmed. Just not too much on this one.